Mm, Awesome. Welcome, guys, to the June 5th connection call. I'm Joey Lee.
And I'm Alex Lee.
And we're super excited to have you guys here. Tonight, we are actually going to be chatting all things pawFest goals for 2026. So I know we're still getting quite a few people admitted into the room tonight. So while you guys are popping in, make sure you say hello in the chat. Let us know if this is your first connection call with us. You can chat while I find this.
Okay, you gotta find it. And I have no room to talk because I have tons of tabs myself. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We're excited to be chatting about what is something that's near and dear to our hearts, which is going to be recognition. It's kind of a huge driver for us. If you're kind of familiar with like the color personalities, Joey and I both tend to lean pretty strong in the red category. So we like recognition, we like winning, we like kind of all the things, awards, and all that stuff that is related to that. And I think you got your slide up, so we're good to go.
Yes. So here is, we'd love for you guys to be popping in the chat if it is your first connection call with us, and also where are you from? And then also what are you celebrating? From the month of May, we just got done with the full recognition year for pawFest 2025. So all of that's all done. So pop in the chat some goodies. We've got Joe, or yeah, from Pittsburgh. We got Karen from Pittsburgh. We've got Phoenix. We have Washington, Kentucky.
We're from Michigan.
Yep, we're
Yeah.
from Michigan. We got a first timer. Welcome, Brianna. Welcome. So excited to have you guys here. So keep popping in the chat any sort of celebrations that you have. I know our team did really well in May. Super proud of everybody on Team Live Life Off Leash. I know the 5-star team did really great. Trisha was putting out some nice things of what everybody was doing. I know obviously the month end close, we're still waiting for all of that, but yeah, pop that in the chat. So the roadmap for tonight, we will talk a little bit about what's happening in June, but there's not too much to be chatting about. So then we're also going to be chatting about the goal setting for pawFest 2026. And we also want to know who's registered for pawFest. Pop that in the chat if you are ready and excited. We are about a month and a half away, and early bird is going to be closing soon. 6, 7, 8. Well, 4 days. I think we only have
Pretty
4
soon.
days left.
I do want to shout out Joe Wilkins. She had a pet pro that just promoted,
Awesome.
and that is a rescue pet pro. So um, not that that pet pro is a rescue, but she, I'm sure, owns a rescue or operates a rescue.
Yep.
And then she's all signed up and ready to go for pawFest. So really exciting.
Yes. And then Robin earned the director luncheon for pawFest, so way to go. That I know that's definitely not an easy feat. So congrats to everybody who's earned the Bloom brunches. I know we still have this month that some people are going to be running for it, but June 9th is the last day for early bird registration. So if you have not signed up yet, believe me, you do not want to miss this event. Like if you are serious about your business and growing your business, this is like a must be at kind of event. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be so much fun. You get to connect with the home office. You get to connect with other people on your team. I know for me, that's one of the biggest things that I look forward to is meeting my team in person. I get to hug people in person. So make sure you guys are grabbing those early bird registrations. We want you guys in that room. So you can go to, I think it's like pawTree, pawFest 2025 or something like that is the website. Definitely get with your enroller. They can help you with finding that. pawTree has sent out lots of emails as well. You can also scan this QR code because we want you guys there. All right, Connie Kramer is registered and bringing her husband who has supported and talked about pawTree wherever he goes. We love when the hubbies do that. Way to go, hubbies.
Yeah.
Way to go. All right, and then we have Set Sail to Scandinavia. That is another thing that is still currently going on. This is the last month for it where you can actually earn a cruise to Scandinavia by selling the pawTree Plaque Control. This is the first time we've had a incentive like this, and we actually have already sold 12,210 as of 3 days ago. We are about 400 plaque controls away from yet another pet pro being able to be on the boat. So here is a list of some of the people who have got their 30 minimum units. I'm sure there's going to be more people getting added to the list even after this month. There's no more updates though. We are kind of flying blind into June of knowing who's going to be the top people, but I think the Laudermilks, knock on wood, I'm thinking they're the ones that are like pretty much in the running. So
Yeah.
we're excited for them. So way to go, guys. So keep pushing. If you want your chance to be on the boat, you can get your name into the drawing by selling 30 minimum units of the plaque control. That's all that it takes to get some entries into being able to go to Scandinavia. I know I want that trip so stinking bad. I'm like trying to do anything I can to sell the plaque control. All right, guys. So now we are going to get into our training. So I really want you guys to be thinking about pawFest this year. And something that you guys can be doing is thinking about what are some of the things that you want to be earned? Like what kind of awards do you want to be earning for next year in 2026?
So
Because
I know there's several of us on this call that are probably going to be earning some awards at pawFest next month. However, with the recognition year really starting this month, oftentimes I know Joey and I are guilty of this, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well, where we kind of forget, and then we're still like, oh, just kind of, especially like us in Michigan, like the weather's just changed and got nice and everything. So we kind of get a little laxed in the month of June and July. And then once we get through pawFest, now we're all fired up and we're motivated and we hit the ground running. But we've essentially lost kind of 2 months of the recognition year for 2026. So when Joe and I were kind of coming up with the game plan, what we wanted to talk about tonight, we knew that, like, hey, what better thing to talk about than just getting on track and starting off the year strong. Like, I know we're halfway through 2025, but we're talking about the award year for next year, 2026. And the fact that, like, hey, we're only 5 days into the award year. Why don't we kind of dive into that and set yourself up for success for next year?
exactly, starting from day one. So in case you guys don't know, June 1st to May 31st, I think 30th, 31st, what anyway, end of May, whatever that date is. That is the recognition year that pawTree looks at for when it comes to awards for the next pawFest. And so I want you guys to really be thinking because you can be walking across that stage next year if that's something that you want. Like Alex said, let's start planning that now. I know for me, I wish I was like that I was tracking some of this stuff from the very beginning. And so it's not always about like the trophies or the pins or things like that, but it's also the growth that comes with it. It's the consistency, it's the belief. Like if you can be looking at these goals and setting these goals ahead of time, it puts so much belief in yourself that you can actually be hitting some of these things. And you can be thinking about too, because like Alex said, we're the red personalities. We like the recognition, we like the money, all those types of things. But if you're someone that's like, man, I've helped 2,000 pets over the last year, like how amazing would it be to track something like that? How much of an impact you actually get to make in the lives of other pets and with other people. And so that can be part of this goal setting that you're looking at. And when we are setting some of these goals and some of this recognition, it really starts to give your actions towards these goals a purpose. So when your motivation starts to fade, when you're like, oh, It's winter time. Dawn knows what I'm talking about. It's like winter in Michigan, and you just want to be cuddled underneath the blanket. And you're like, I don't really want to go out and see anybody. I don't want to do anything. You're like, okay, I have these goals that I want to be hitting. I saw Karen Snavely said 25K club for next year. Like, you're like, okay, I really want that. When you go back and you look at your goals that take that long term, it gives you some of that extra boost of motivation to get it done. Like, well, is this one TikTok that I post really going to make a difference? It could. It definitely could make a difference between hitting the 25K club and not, because it can be close if you are not tracking these things. And so it really can help you with that, like that not quitting on your goals. So even if you don't think that you can earn these goals, tracking them anyway is really good. So even if you're like, I'm just not there yet for a 25K club, no worries, but be tracking. I know for me, I was not tracking any of this information from the beginning, about 8.5 years ago now. I wish I would have been tracking this from the very beginning and being able to be like, oh my goodness, I sold $10,000 worth of products. I have now 200 customers. That means 200 dogs and cats I've been able to change their life. Like, these are all things that, even for social media, these are big impacts that you can be making. Even if it's only your 10th customer, that's still 10 more pets that you're helping. But if you aren't tracking these types of things, or even how many pet pros that you're bringing in. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but these are some of the things that I wish I could have been tracking from the very beginning. It's stuff that I literally can't even track it back that far. There's not that data. So we kind of have to guess a little bit, but some things like, okay, so our team Live Life Off Leash, we have sold over $1.3 million worth of products in the last 8 years. Crazy. But if you don't track that month to month, that isn't something that you're going to realize. And that can be super powerful for your team, even.
Well, I know, like when I told you that, I was like, well, this is the number. I know it's higher than that, but this is what we can track. You were blown away. Like
Right.
you had no idea.
I had no idea that we were over 1 million over the last 8 years. It's crazy. Alex and I personally, we've had over 500K in sales. He told me that today, and I was like, what? What? It's crazy. And then since 2022, now we've been in since 2016, but what we've been able to track is we have sponsored over 139 pet pros. Fun. That's how many people we've been able to bring into the business and at least try to help them to be amazing pet pros. Some have stuck around and some haven't. But aren't those fun numbers just to know, just to have? Like, man, that really makes me want to push to get one more so I can get to 140. So if you're like Alex and I, or if you're like someone where, hey, I want to be able to impact one more person so I can get to that 140, I really, really encourage you guys to just be tracking, which we will show you in a little bit what a Excel document that we use to help track all of this stuff. It's right in Google. It's never going to go away unless Google goes down, which would be absolutely devastating, I think, to the world at this point. But it is something that's always there. We can look at it anytime, anywhere. And so that's what we are currently using. All right, so we're going to bring up the awards. So this is the awards for pawFest 2025. So this is what we're going to be going over of what you can be looking at and tracking for 2026.
Now, I do want to have a little caveat because they might change what awards there are. I mean, it's been a few years since they've done that, so they might be up for change, or they might just kind of stick with them the same. We don't know, so we do kind of have a little bit of a guess. But regardless, these are still really good things to be tracking.
Exactly. And so a lot of times what I feel is they've added different things. They haven't really taken too much away. I think they've only added more awards. So first and foremost, your rank. You definitely want to be keeping track and knowing when was the last time that you hit your rank, or when was the last time that you ranked up. Because when we go to pawFest 2025, some of the things that they're going to be doing is you get to stand up for different rank advancements, and you get to be acknowledged that you ranked up. And then some of them you even get to walk across the stage. So knowing, hey, when did you hit director, senior director, executive director? And if you haven't hit those yet, that's okay. Let's make that a goal to help you get there. But if you say you hit director and it was last June, well, you want to make sure that you're walking across that stage for hitting director in June, even though it was like a year ago. But go back and look. When was the last time that you hit your rank, or when was it the first? I guess the first time that you hit the rank, so that way you can get recognized for those types of things. VP, you get a key. 1 star, you get a star. 2 star, you get a heart. And 3 star, you actually get a trophy. So I know the 3 star, woo, 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 going for the trophy, going for the trophy. It's a little ways off for us, but it's all good. We're still running for it. So those are some rank advancements that you are definitely going to want to make sure that you are tracking of when you hit that first. Next up, we've already talked a little bit about these, but it is the sales milestones. Now, this is for personal PV, so your personal sales. I'm going to let you talk about that because those are numbers and he likes
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Do you want to talk about kind of like the all pet pros versus the rookie first?
Um, so we do have rookie awards. This is something that is newer that they've added in. So rookie awards are going to be for anybody who joined pawTree in from June 2024 to now. You are considered a rookie because you are in your first year. And so there are there's going to be awards for both sides of the coin. So people who've been in for longer than a year, but also the people who are just in for the year. So it's actually kind of cool that they're doing awards for even rookies. So say it's the top in new sales for both the rookies and people who've been in for longer than a year. So just kind of explain a little bit of the rookie awards.
Yeah. Now, kind of going into the sales milestones, I'm really going to be talking about for like this will be all pet pros, not just rookies, or they don't divide this up. So, some of the sales milestones, there's four of them right now. We have the 25K club, which is $25,000 in personal sales in the year. And then we have the 50K club, which again, $50,000 in personal sales in a single year, 75 and 100K. Joey and I have earned all of these. I know, I believe there's several of you on this call that have earned the 75K and 100K club. Any of you that have earned any of these, go ahead and pop them in the chat. Let me know which ones you've earned. It's always just really exciting.
Katie is running for 50K club this year. Yeah, Katie. Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go.
So again, hey, we're at the first month of the award year. You can get started with these right away. And I'm not going to go over the exact amounts that you need to do each month. We can do that in the Google Sheet because it'll be a little bit easier to see.
Okay.
And then next up is going to be kind of top category achievers. Again, they're going to be top categories for all pet pros, and then specifically the rookies, which is the ones that have been in for this last year only. But you got top in new PV, top in.
Where are those at?
Right
Oh,
there.
right here. Okay.
Yeah, our list is whatever. So top in new sales, top in total sales, top in Paw Club enrollments, and then top sponsoring. So typically, how they do this is it's the top 10, and then like the top three. The top three kind of get some special awards.
Yeah.
But they recognize the top 10.
So these obviously we aren't going to know who's the top in sponsoring or top in new PV, those types of things, but it is still things that you could be tracking. And if you have a team, you can even be doing this. Like you could be each month saying, hey, this is the top in new PV for the people just right on your team. So this way, as a leader, you're also instilling into your team, these are the types of awards that we're looking at. These are the types of things that we pay attention to. Now, obviously, these are results based. But it is something that you could be like, if you're looking for a way to, hey, what kind of recognition could I be doing for my team? You could always just be going right to, like, you can get this document, you can, the recognition roadmap. It's right in our library. And so that could be a great place to start of things to be tracking for your teams and doing your own like recognition for that.
Yep. The next one is the Constellation Club. Glad I said that correctly. And that is group volume totaling over $1 million in the single year. So that means your group volume, your team has sold over $1 million within a single year. So Joey and I have not earned that, even though our team in our lifetime has done over 1 million. We've not done over 1 million in a single year.
Yep.
Come on up, Brad. Do you want in on this? Okay. So definitely some good thing. This is what I really love about pawTree is they have awards for like kind of every level of pet pro. So if you've been in for a short amount of time, you still have an opportunity to get on stage, get recognized. Everyone's going to clap and cheer for you. You get different awards and stuff. I'm looking at ours; they're all over here, tucked in our workspace behind stuff, but we got them all over there displayed out. It's really fun. And then again, like the longer you're in, like you kind of lose some opportunity to get some of these awards just because you've been in so long and they might lose a little bit of flair. But then when you have something like the Constellation Club, like that's a huge deal to have team sales over $1 million in a single year. Like you need to be thinking about this is like my business does over $1 million a year in sales. Like how fantastic would that be?
Yep.
Let's see. Some other ones that get announced too is you're going to get Paw Trip earners. Yeah, so we have some different programs like the Paw Trip earners. So all the Paw Tree earner or Paw Trip earners are going to get recognized. Do I get recognized even though I didn't go?
Yes, I'll allow it.
Okay. Just checking. So, even though we technically earned it, I just couldn't go.
Yeah.
But and then I know with the Grow Achievers too, that's going to be a new one for this year. As far as the Grow program goes, they're going to be recognizing those. And then any of the Paw Trip earners, the top 10 are going to get spotlighted.
Yep. And then also, and I would say like the Grow Achievers, that was probably something that is special for just this year. So that might not be something that happens next year, but it could be. We never know. pawTree loves to Roger loves to pull things out of his sleeve. He's like a magician, and so we just never know. There could be something different for us to shoot for next year. Um, but we're for this year we are going to be they're going to be talking about the set sail of Scandinavia, so we'll be able to find that out of who's actually going to be like going on the cruise. And so that's a pretty fun, like not necessarily award to be shooting for, but at least it's like a nice recognition. The next one that is like the big to do, Alex and I did earn this a couple years ago. It is the Pet Pro and the Rookie of the Year.
So there's two. So there's the Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is they kind of base this on several different categories. Like all kind of the award categories that we've talked about, all come into play with this. And it's not just the person that had the number one sales or sponsored the most, but it is. I mean, you can read it there. I mean, the Pet Pro of the Year is going to be the Pet Pro with the high. It's the highest honor, and like Roger and the team kind of handpick the Pet Pro of the Year, which
Yeah.
is a huge deal. I know I know the Loudermilks have earned it. I can't see everybody on the call, but I know they have earned it. It's a huge deal, a huge honor.
Yeah. So it can be, especially if you are in your first year And this is somebody who shows up on a regular basis. They're doing trainings, they're helping people out, they're in the community. And even for the Pet Pro of the year. So, like Alex said, it's kind of based off of a lot of different things. Home office helps as well, but something to be thinking about for years in the future is how are you showing up as a Pet Pro? Are you showing up in a way that's helpful for other people? Are you sharing your knowledge? Are you willing to help out with different things? Are you showing up and helping with the connection calls? I know, plug for Trisha. Trisha loves it when we have other people that help with this call. So are you volunteering for things like that? These are all, it's like a big encompassing thing that the home office looks at as a whole, as well as all of the other awards. And so if that is something that you would love to eventually be able to strive for or even be picked for, if you're having an amazing year, make sure that you're also doing all of these other things because it is a full package of for Pet Pro of the year, but also the Rookie of the Year.
And I know we have some questions and stuff in there about like, hey, what reports do I need to look at? How do I add these numbers up? We are going to go over that. We just kind of want to do a broad overview of like what these awards are, kind of what they mean, and like what you can.
Well, that's actually the next thing we're talking
Oh,
about.
okay. Well,
So yeah, the next thing that we're talking about is Mindy. You had a great question. Where do I find these numbers? Yes. So these are all going to be in your back office and in your volume report is something that you can be looking at for a lot of these numbers. So for like the 25K club, that again is just your own personal sales. That has nothing to do with your team. The 25K club is how much did you personally sell between June and May of the following year. And so that's something that I like to do at the end of each month. I like to go through and pop in the numbers after everything has ran.
you do that?
I do a lot, yes. Because I like to see the numbers go up.
I know. I did it for years, and then yeah, but no, it's funny.
But definitely make sure it is after the commissions run. I know I kind of looked at my numbers, I hit my goals, and I was kind of chilling and coasting the rest of the day and the last day of May. And yeah, I had someone that canceled their easy ship that ran earlier that morning, and I didn't realize it. So I thought I had like over 4K in sales and did not. We hit under that and I was so bummed because I didn't track it at the end of the day. So make sure that when you're inputting these numbers, it's after the close of commission, so after the 3 days, 3 business days after the month, go in and make sure you are updating your numbers. But in that volume report, so you can go to your back office, you could go to reports, I think download business reports because they've changed it now, and then volume report. And that's where you can find your monthly PV. I like to track the GV. Your sponsoring numbers, how many paw clubs that you had. For your rank, like Joe put in there, your qualification history report is going to be where you want to look for your rank. But for the most part, if you're tracking that month to month, you're going to know what you were paid as, what your top rank is, because we do have some higher ranks where if you don't hit that, I think you have to be paid that as like every 6 months or something like that. I can't quite remember. But those are just some things that you could be tracking month to month. So some other things that if you want to be tracking is maybe how many new customers that you had that month. Maybe you had 5 new customers that month. How much in new PV that you had, how many total pet pros you have on the team. That's actually been something fun for us to be tracking and making like what was the biggest month that we've ever had. I think it was at one time we had 172 people on the team at one time. It's gone down a little bit since then, but like it's a fun number to be able to track. And even as a new pet pro, as you're building your team, like, man, I got 5 people on my team. How fun is that? And being able to see when did you get to go and like when did you do those types of things. And then what else is there? Now I'll show you.
I was gonna say, I think we should bring up the Google sheet that I made.
All right, so go ahead and chat while I pull that one up.
Yeah, so well, I think I did this about 5 or 6 years ago. I ended up creating a Google sheet, and I just we update it every single month, and then when the new year rolls over, we just copy it and or duplicate it, and then create a new one. So this really helps us kind of track like where we're at each and every month for our goals. Kind of all right, so we'll just go ahead and start with the top. So we're looking at June 2025. That's this month. We're kind of just putting in some blanket numbers as an estimate. So base PV that you need to hit every single month in order to hit the 25K club is going to be $2,085 every
Yep.
single month. If you average that amount of sales, then at the end of the year, you're going to hit 25K club. Now, if you are shooting for the 50K club, now we're at, would you say 41?
65.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher than that. I think it's 41.66 and some change.
Okay.
But yeah. So again, this is the average. So maybe some months you have really good months, and then some months aren't as good as the other. So you can be really kind of tracking your average, like just personal sales. We also track new PV, our group volume too. That's our sales plus our team sales. And then like we have some other numbers in here that pawTree doesn't necessarily track. We just do. So depending on the level that you're at, if you're a new pet pro, like really the big things you need to be worrying about, or really you're going to be want to tracking is personal volume, new sales, and then maybe group volume. But then Paw clubs, like how many Paw clubs you're getting every single month, and then personally sponsored. Personally sponsored is a really fun number to track, especially like every year after year, because you can see. And there's been like some years where like we've been really heavily sales focused, and we've watched actually like our personal or our sponsoring numbers have dipped, and then vice versa. So like for me being a bit of a numbers person, going back and just being able to review year after year, like what has kind of gone on and like where our focus has been and where we might need to improve. Because like if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you need to go, kind of thing, or what you need to improve on. So these are really great numbers to be tracking. So I would again highly suggest just tracking personal volume, new sales, group volume, paw clubs, and personally sponsored.
Yeah, because I will say one of the fun things that we didn't even know could be a goal or that we might
Can you
want
bring the chat back up too?
that we might want as a goal is what was our biggest sponsoring month? Like what was the most pet pros that we brought in a month, which I don't remember what that number is, but let's just say like 5 was the total. Okay, then that's a great way to be like, I want to push myself and I want to bring in 6 new pet pros. Like, I want to bump that number up. But unless you know what your top month was for sponsoring pet pros, how you don't know what kind of number you need to put. Maybe it is the total number of people that you have on your team. Or what like for my whole entire team, the most amount of people that we brought in was 10. Cool. Well, so you can get with your team and say, hey, can we push that to 15? The next time that we have 50% off kits, like are going to happen this month, hey, can we push it to try and sponsor 15 new people this month? I know Amy Johnson's really big on tracking these numbers too, and so I think it was last month or something, but she was able to say we had our best month ever as a team. Do you know how empowering that is for your team to go, man, for all of that hard work that I put in, even though I stretched and I only got 3 new orders last month, but those 3 new orders helped our team have the best month ever.
Yeah. So speaking of kind of team and tracking that, this is now I'm really going to be talking to the pet pros that have been in for a long time and have larger teams. If you scroll up, you'll see like I have GV and then I have TV. That stands for team volume. Again, that's not a number pawTree tracks. That's our own number. And essentially, what we're doing is I'm taking our personal sales out of group volume sales. So we can really actually see like, hey, our pet pros, like, is their volume going up and down? Because Joey and I have had like some really good months, depending on what's going on social media and things. So like our group volume can, like our own numbers can really sway our team volume or our group volume a lot. So sometimes it's not like a really good, accurate representation of what's going on with our team. So I just created a thing called team volume that is showing specifically what is going on with our downline and are they up, are they down month after month? Like, what can we do to help them? Because ideally, we'd like to see that growing every single month, even a lot faster than our own personal sales kind of thing. But again, that's for you pet pros that have been in for a long time, that have large established teams, might be something worth checking. And it's really as easy as taking your group volume and then just minusing your personal volume out of it.
Yep. Okay. I think.
So, and just kind of taking a look at this spreadsheet that I've built, like you can see that I've got it broken down. Like it's kind of split into two things. Like I got all of our own personal or all sales things on one side, and then I got sponsoring on another. This is just kind of how my brain or how our brains work. And then, at the bottom, it's just totaling up like, hey, what's our total sales? What's our average per month? And then the left to 25K, left to 50, so on and so forth. Those, I kind of got to manually update every single month, but it's just a good target of, hey, where we're at, what are we doing? Like, do we need to do more? Do we need to push a little bit higher, or are we like falling short way more than what we want to do? And having those averages like per month just kind of helps with us.
Yeah. So Mindy asks, would you be willing to share your Excel spreadsheet? Yes, I can make a blank one for you guys and I can pop that when I do the recording. I can in the probably just in the comments, I can post a Google link and then just make sure that you copy and paste yours over into your own document. But that way you can at least have all of this information and you guys can be using it, but you just have to make your own spreadsheet for it.
And then Joe, for the most part, they are all equations. There's just like one category that I had to slightly do manually, but they are all like equations
Yep.
in my own, self-taught Excel kind of thing.
Well, yeah, so like this one here, where the 16,670, where it says,
That updates on its own.
yep, so 25K club minus what
What the yearly total
the
is.
total is.
Yeah.
And
If you go
so,
to the one next to it, that's the only one like that I haven't been able to figure out how to automate that. And that's just showing like how many months are left versus like volume we still need to do, like what we need to average. Again, it's just for my own kind of thing.
yep. But as you can see, this is some really fun ways to be able to look and say, hey, starting now, today, this is month one. What do I want to hit? What do I want to be recognized for in 2026 at pawFest? Because I can tell you guys, it is so fun to hear your name get called up there. But also, it's super fun for your team to be called up there. I remember when Brett hit 25K club and I was about on the chairs screaming my head off because she was the first one from our team that had earned a big award like that. And I was so stinking proud of her. I think I was even taller than Mike Laudermilk at that point. I was so excited for her. So not only is this a good thing for you to track, but even for your teams. I think Pauline, I think it was, that said that she'd missed the 25K club by $500. $500. Because she wasn't tracking it. She wasn't paying attention to it. So that's what we encourage you guys to be doing is paying attention to your numbers. I'm not like I am a numbers person sometimes, but it's just like, okay, here's what the targets are. And so for us, it's nice to have like I said, if you know that you want to be hitting the 25K club, then you know that you need to be selling about $2,090 per month. So it really helps you push to making sure that you're selling at least that much every single month. And so, okay, maybe that's your target for every month now is setting the goal to hit 20,090. Like that's what I got to hit. That's my bare minimum. And that's going to get me into 25K club and being able to track that as you go. Maybe you have an amazing month and you hit 3,000 or 4,000. You're like, oh my goodness, that vendor event brought me in so much extra. Now you have a little bit of a cushion because maybe when a pod trip happens at May and you want to check out for the month, you've given yourself a little bit of extra. You've given yourself a little bit of that extra cushion so that you aren't stretching at the end of every single month. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Do you have any other questions about pawFest awards or recognition, tracking, anything like that? No? Perfect. All right. So I expect all of you guys to be tracking your numbers and that way we can see you guys at pawFest at 2026. And if you're going to pawFest this year, be cheering. Be like, man, I'm going to be on that stage for that award next year. I will say that is one thing that as I wasn't doing the tracking. Alex wasn't quite bought in yet, but it was, I think, your first or second Paw Fest. And I remember, I think it was your first Paw Fest. I remember being so mad, and Trisha can attest to this. I was so mad because we didn't get called up there. So here I am. I think it was like my second or third Paw Fest, and I'm mad because I am not getting up there, and I want to be up there next year. And you know what? We made it happen. We were up on that stage the following year because I was like, I am not going to sit in this chair one more year. I'm going to be up there. So now I always make sure that like that is a goal for us because that's what drives Alex and I. And so if you're that same way, or if you're like, man, I really want to be up on that stage so I can hold that award and be recognized for it, then start tracking those numbers now. Karen says, I track some of these. Now I need to go back and track team sales. Yes. Isn't that a fun number to know? Because you're like, I have no idea. And like, you get the number and you're like, oh, this is amazing. No matter what that number is, it's so fun to be like, that's what my team has done. And it's so empowering for your team to know it too. And for us to be like, okay, how fast can we hit 1.5? How fast can we hit 1.5 million, guys? How fast, how many more pets can we help over the next couple of months? Can we get there in a couple months? Like it's fun to be able to run with your team. It gives them a little bit of that extra motivation because if you and making sure that you're talking to your team in the multiple different ways too, of not just this is how much we've had in sales, but be thinking about how many pets we've actually been able to help, how many households that our team has been able to get into. So that could even be something that you could be asking your teams, hey, how many total customers do you have? And then you could be totaling up that number of total customers that you have. Now, granted, you have to ask your entire team for them to get the number. But how fun of a number would that be to be like, Team Live Life Off Leash is we're in, I don't know, 20,000 homes or whatever we are. I have no clue. But like, it's just fun. And as you guys are growing and growing your teams and helping more pets, it's just some really fun, exciting numbers you can be talking about on social media too. But even in your team calls, like updating people, updating your team month to month, it can be so empowering for people.
And Karen brought up a really great point too about tracking commissions. That is a great number to track. We actually track that. I just do that in a separate sheet.
Yeah.
So and I didn't touch. We didn't.
Well, and that's something too that we couldn't even find late, like we
I
couldn't
know
go.
there's a few years where we can't go back that far.
We can't go find it because we were
I know they
getting
can
that
find
price.
it probably, but
Yeah. So start tracking it now. I promise you, it's definitely worth it to be tracking it. So awesome, guys. Well, next week I know it is going to be Trisha and Joe,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Trisha and Joe are going to be doing the connection call next week. So make sure you guys are here. Same time, same Zoom link. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I love seeing your faces. I love having you guys come and be chatting in the chat. So thank you. Thank you. And we'll be seeing you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.